picture of this person you're seeing on the car is the picture of Captain Ibrahim Traoré. He is the 36-year-old president of Burkina Faso, and he is so loved by his people that they brand him on cars, houses, billboards, just to show their appreciation and love for him. This is a crowd of his people just coming to welcome him from the airport. You see, the reason why the people love him so much is because ever since he took power 2+ years ago in 2022 through a military coup, he has done nothing but improve the lives of his people. He's built hospitals, roads, schools, name it, he's done it, and improved the lives of his people so tremendously that he's not just loved in Burkina Faso, where he is the president, but across the whole of Africa. Young people have actually endorsed him as the president of Africa. In fact, they call him Captain Africa, and they wish that in their various countries that they had a Captain Ibrahim Traoré as their president. But guess what? Not everybody loves him like the Africans do. France and America, they want Captain Ibrahim Traoré out. Why? For stopping them from looting the resources of Burkina Faso. You see, France has been looting the gold, uranium, and other mineral resources of Burkina Faso without giving anything back to the country. And Captain Ibrahim Traoré said no and kicked them out. And this has made France unhappy. And they invited America, and now they want to unalive him. But the world will have none of that. And now they are speaking out from United States, through Europe, through Asia, through Africa. Everybody is speaking out. Now listen to this compilation.
Oh, they are mad now. Now we've heard that they want Burkina Faso's leader, Ibrahim Traoré, out. And AFRICOM General Langley is accusing Traoré's government of diverting Burkina Faso's gold reserves for personal security rather than the welfare of the people. Let's be honest, is it really the people they're worried about, or the sudden loss of access to West Africa's vault? Because for those of us paying attention to West Africa's globe knows that Captain Traoré's first move after claiming leadership was reclaiming Burkina Faso's sovereignty over its natural resources by revisiting old mining contracts and letting foreign investors know, whether in Australia, Europe, or North America, that if you didn't like the new terms, the door was right over there. See, he isn't acting alone. You got the Sahel Alliance going on. Obviously, the leader of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré of Niger, and then you got Assimi Goïta of Mali, all making the same power moves, kicking out foreign bases, reclaiming their natural resources, building self-reliance. So why are foreign agencies laser focused on Ibrahim Traoré? It's because he is a young African leader influencing Africa's youth, which is the largest demographic on this planet, and that's a huge problem. He's not talking under the table. He's making it clear that Africa's poverty is manufactured, and it's resonating a lot with everybody, especially the youth who are fed up with how things are. And instead of him being a quiet leader in the corner, he's being seen as a symbol and a catalyst for revolutionary change. And that's the reason why they need to silence him by unnecessary means.
A 35-year-old African president just kicked out a former colonial power, and barely anyone's talking about it. His name is Ibrahim Traoré. He's the president of Burkina Faso, a land rich in gold, culture, and resilience. And he's shaking global politics. Traoré was a military captain, young, determined, tired of watching his people suffer under corruption and insecurity. In 2022, he led a coup, not to seize power, but to reclaim it for the people. Burkina Faso was colonized by France. And long after so-called independence, France still pulled the strings. Military bases, gold mines, media control. Traoré ended it. He expelled every French soldier and said, "We'd rather die in dignity than live in domination." That's not defiance, that's freedom.
Burkina Faso was formerly colonized by France and has an abundance of gold in natural resources. Traoré pushed out Western influence, including the mine owners, who are French mine owners in Burkina Faso. France wanted to reestablish relations with Burkina Faso, and if you've seen Macron giving a pretty ridiculous speech trying to say one day they'll thank us for helping them. No, they just wanted you to leave them alone. So now the US is getting involved. And we can all guess what those claims are going to be. Now we're seeing the claim, oh, he's stealing all the gold for himself and he's not helping his people. The next they're going to be like, we need to bring democracy to Burkina Faso. Like those typical things that the US says in order to manufacture consent for invasion and ultimately backing a coup, which I'm sure they have already tried.
This exceptional leadership from Ibrahim Traoré exemplifies why the West has tried to unalive him at least 16 times now over the past 2 years. The West fears a truly sovereign and brilliant mind and a young leader like Ibrahim Traoré who has the capacity to take Africa into a sovereign and free future.
Meanwhile, other nations, such as Russia, are building ties with Burkina Faso and showing Ibrahim Traoré nothing but respect. This is him meeting Vladimir Putin in 2023, and since that meeting, Russia have reopened the embassy in Burkina Faso and the ties have become stronger and stronger. And look how the people of Burkina Faso reacted when they heard that Ibrahim Traoré was coming back and landing back in the airport from that meeting. Watch this. Thousands of them went to meet him. Thousands. His people absolutely love him. As I explained in the video yesterday, it's no wonder when you consider the reforms that he's made to healthcare and education and how he's absolutely revolutionized the agricultural industry.
What is it going to take? Ibrahim Traoré needs to be protected at any cost. Any and all cost. Protect this man. For God's sake, protect this man.
So it seems that the United States is messing around with Africa again, Burkina Faso, because Traoré has run France out of the country, taken back their gold and their mining and everything else that belongs to their country. And he is uplifting his people. What is it with Western countries and the United States, why they like to go in and destabilize other countries, and then they wonder why there's immigration to this country? Because you keep on destabilizing other countries. Leave the goddamn people alone. It's their natural resources. If you want it, then you need to pay for it.
While Western leaders bicker over trade wars and election headlines, a 35-year-old African president just kicked out a former colonial power, and barely anyone's talking about it. His name is Ibrahim Traoré. He's the president of Burkina Faso, a land rich in gold, culture and resilience, and he's shaking global politics. Traoré was a military captain, young, determined, tired of watching his people suffer under corruption and insecurity. In 2022, he led a coup, not to seize power, but to reclaim it for the people. Burkina Faso was colonized by France. And long after so-called independence, France still pulled the strings. Military bases, gold mines, media control. Traoré ended it. He expelled every French soldier and said, "We'd rather die in dignity than live in domination." That's not defiance, that's freedom. And yet we're told to admire leaders who privatize public services, who sell off futures and call it growth. But what if real progress means reclaiming what's ours? They label him a dictator, but millions across Africa call him the new Sankara. Maybe we've just forgotten what people-powered leadership looks like. Have you heard of Ibrahim Traoré before today? Do you think the West fears leaders who actually serve their people? This is the Africa you're not shown, but I'm here to show you.
Burkina Faso was formerly colonized by France and has an abundance of gold in natural resources. Traore pushed out Western influence, including the mine owners, who are French mine owners in Burkina Faso. France wanted to reestablish relations with Burkina Faso, and if you've seen Macron giving a pretty ridiculous speech trying to say one day they'll thank us for helping them, no, they just wanted you to leave them alone. Anyway, Traore said that in order to reestablish relations with France, that France is going to have to return all of the gold that they have stolen from Burkina Faso's mines, and all of this gold that they have is sitting in reserves in France. France is trying to say that that gold is theirs. It comes from mines in France. There are no gold mines in France. So now the US is getting involved. And we can all guess what those claims are going to be. Now we're seeing the claim, oh, he's stealing all the gold for himself and he's not helping his people. Next they're gonna be like, we need to bring democracy to Burkina Faso, like those typical things that the US says in order to manufacture consent for invasion and ultimately backing a coup, which I'm sure they have already tried. Them, France, and anybody else who benefits from the gold exploitation of African nations, which includes those fake Muslim countries like the UAE. Hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that. But there's a reason why a lot of these nations are not coming to the aid of Palestinians and are also thriving off of the exploitation of natural resources from nations in Africa. Anyway, I'm hoping this gets picked up by American TikTok, but we'll see. And as we go along, you're probably going to hear a lot of comparisons of Thomas Sankara to Ibrahim Traoré. Sankara was a leader almost exactly like Traoré. Around 1970s in Burkina Faso, I have one of his speeches pinned on my profile. I'm going to make a part 2 sharing what I know about Sankara, because I understand this is 2 minutes and that might be a little bit too long for people's attention span.
They killed Fred Hampton. They killed Rosa Luxemburg. They killed Che Guevara. They killed Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. They killed Ghassan Kanafani and Josh Howie and Mehdi Amil. They killed Chris Hani. They killed Patrice Lumumba and Salvador Allende. They killed my goat, Thomas Sankara, which is something I'll never come to terms with. George Abdullah and Ahmed Sadat are rotting in prison, along with so many political prisoners. Pro-Palestinian protesters are being deported, and now they're trying to kill Ibrahim Traoré. They've already tried over a dozen times. Meanwhile, a self-proclaimed fascist, a literal war criminal, Itamar Ben Ba'ir, is freely roaming the streets of New York. What is it going to take? Ibrahim Traoré needs to be protected at any cost. Any and all cost. Protect this man. For God's sake, protect this man.
I just watched President Traore's speech. This man is so wise, it's not even funny, all right? Mr. President, you said that they want to control your resources, and then your youth is forced to migrate over there to make a living. You are absolutely right. On top of it, what they do to those people that migrate here, it's shameful. They send ICE to detain them and to deport them. These days, they don't even send back to the original country, they send them to El Salvador. I am the prime example of how ruthless America has become. I married a US citizen 14 years ago, and they still detained me back in Hawaii, and they tried to deport me. Yeah, they treat like shit anybody who they think they're below them. I applaud you, Mr. President Traore, for standing up to them.